Welcome to a new fragrance review. Today I'm going to tell you what makes a good dating fragrance. So there's one thing before I keep going with the subject that really trumps everything. If the person you're going on a date really love a fragrance you have, even if it doesn't work with anything I'm gonna say, well, that fragrance is an amazing dating fragrance, actually, with that person. I just wanted to say it because wear this fragrance that's not quite a dating fragrance. Person love it. I'll wear this one. Find other like this, and they should be good also. But more generally, what makes a good dating fragrance? And I think it's good that I make that video because I take more often than not about business fragrance that are masculine, old school, leathery, stuff like that. And I really put that little dating of fragrance aside, but I think a lot of people enjoy it. And what I think makes a good dating fragrance, one of the first thing to say is that a good dating fragrance usually have some sweetness. Of course, you might not like sweet fragrance, and if you don't like sweet fragrance, you don't have to wear something that literally smell like you're putting your face and breathing sugar, but you can still find something that has some sweetness to it and other notes than just some sweetness. But the sweetness is a really important factor. Some notes that I see that are really good as dating fragrance are vanilla, which is a really common one. There's also ambergris, or I should say maybe ambroxan, because let's be serious, all the ambergris note is ambroxan. And also those amber wood kind of note that doesn't smell like amber note at all, that are ambergris or ambroxan is one of those notes. Musk also is a note that seems to be a really good note, even though it's not like overly sweet. It is a note that seems to be good for a seduction fragrance, especially if you're trying to seduce a woman. I heard sometimes women say that they love musk, and that said that their favorite note is musk. Other notes that are less common that are still good notes for like a dating fragrance would be tobacco. Tobacco is a really great note, and what's good with tobacco that is not as good as the other notes is that tobacco is more rare. Like every fragrance nowadays have ambroxan and musk, probably a bunch of vanilla. Tobacco fragrance is more rare, and there's some fragrance that mix all of it. Other notes that are more rare that would be good in a dating fragrance are all the resins. And I would say probably the best like notes will actually be all that I named yet, like tobacco, vanilla, ambroxan, and musk. But all resins are good. They're sweet. They're a bit more masculine. And if you're watching my channel and like regularly, you probably enjoy more masculine and less sweet fragrance. For you, that might be a good like type of note to go. Like resins, like as general note would be a good note. But anything that's, let's say, ilimi, tolu balsam, anything that's balsamic, all those notes are really good notes because they bring some sweetness. They are really unique. They are not the kind of notes you smell usually in fragrance. Now I would go with notes that I would avoid in a dating fragrance, and there's really 3 notes that I will completely avoid, or mostly completely avoid. If it's there but it's really soft there, it's not so much of a problem, but it's really dominant in the fragrance, I will avoid it. The first one is vetiver. I don't know how like reliable the source is. I heard that there's 25% of the world that hate the note of vetiver. And even if that 25% is not accurate, it's still a note that's a bit bold and challenging, and that people like, it's really green, herbal, and like rooty. So it might not be a like super good note for a dating fragrance. I'm talking too much about business fragrance that it's just that word that come with in my mind. Other notes that are bad is leather is a really divisive note. A lot of people don't like it. The thing with leather is that there's people that hate that note in fragrance, and that there's people that love that note in fragrance. It seems that there's no like in between. It would be really a hit or miss, but I wouldn't like take that chance for the miss also. And another note which I'm saying last, but it's probably the most obvious, and it's oud. And oud, actually, a lot of people, I also say it smells amazing. A lot of people say it smells really bad, but it seems to me that it's the note that I hear the most people say that they really hate it with like passion, with all their heart. So I would really avoid a oud fragrance. But for notes to avoid, I wouldn't really avoid anything else. Personally, I would say maybe like a soapy note. I would avoid it because it's kind of smells cheap. It's not really necessarily a bad note. It's just that for me, it kind of smells cheap. But this one is more an opinion than more like science, even though most of it also is more opinion than anything. Now for dating fragrance, what I think is really great is a date is not taking 12 hours. So you don't need to have a fragrance that is long lasting. It's funny, there's a lot of people that talk about La Nuit de l'Homme by Yves Saint Laurent. They say, oh, it doesn't last long at all. And it's a dating fragrance. I saw someone say once that like, if it doesn't last long enough for you, I wonder how long your dates are. And it's true. Dating fragrance don't have to last long. Technically, they just have to last the length of your date. And that makes me think that I forgot to say one really good note in dating fragrance, which is Tonka Bean. Tonka Bean is not super popular nowadays, though there was a time where it was, but it's truly a really good note in dating fragrance. Now there's two like type of dating. I say dating is more like seductive fragrance. There's like an intimate date and clubbing fragrance. So both fragrance will have the same base, as you want something kind of sweet, you want some notes that are attractive, really like avoid notes that are not. And you could have something more fresh, something more dark, resinous, stuff like that, less fresh. But really the big difference between like a close date and clubbing fragrance will be the projection. And I think if you go clubbing, yeah, you need something that project and everything, that people will smell you around you. And it's just how it is. But if you go an intimate date, you're better off with something that is not just crazy. You don't want, if you go like a dinner and in a restaurant, you don't want people 3 tables away to be able to smell your perfume, because the person you're with will probably be choking from the perfume, not enjoying the moment. You want something more intimate, something that, yeah, that person will be able to smell you, of course, but not something that just project like crazy. You want the person, to smell the food also. So that's pretty much sums it all. Hope you enjoyed the video. If it's the case, well, like and share in the comment. Tell me which is your favorite fragrance when you go on a date. So thanks for watching and see you soon.